Welcome to Jack Fleming Artistry. I've been asked to pinstripe and letter all of these trophies for the Texas Thaw car show. I'm super excited about this because I've been wanting to work this car show for a few years and it just hasn't worked out. This year I get to work it, and in exchange for my vendor fee, I'm lettering and striping all their trophies. And they're pretty cool trophies. I'm a really big fan of these kind of trophies at car shows. A lot of thought goes into making them, and then a lot of time, is involved in putting all the pieces together, even saving up the pieces and stuff ahead of time. And usually every trophy kind of tells a story. So I'm excited about this because I kind of get to add to that story, hopefully dress them up a little bit, and have a good time doing it. So the first step to painting anything like this is always going to be to clean it off. So I actually used a 3-part process on this. I started off cleaning these with glass cleaner, just to kind of get off anything that was on them. And then after that I came back with wax and grease remover. And then I did a final clean on these with a little bit of lacquer thinner, just a really quick clean. Kind of seemed like maybe on these ones there might have been a little bit of a clear coat in some spots. I did not want to mess that up, but I want to make sure my paint's going to stick. Alright, I got these cleaned off, and now it's time to sketch them out using my Stabilo, or this isn't actually a Stabilo, it's a Omnichrome. Anyhow, I'm looking at these and I'm trying to figure out, I know that I talked to them about what side it was that they wanted to be the front, but it's been a couple of weeks. Can't really remember. This surface right here looks amazing to paint something on, but I also feel like this would be really cool to paint on because then I can paint down here on this black part too. These ones right here are the race trophies, classes A through E, so A, B, C, D, E, and I've got to figure it out, but I don't know. It could go either way. So I decided to use the side of the piston there as the front, that way I could use the base for part of the lettering. To do something on that top part, I chose to put a little Texas shape up there. They've got the shape of Texas on all of their flyers and posters and everything, so it seemed appropriate. Alright, so I have these all sketched out as far as the class letter here. It says class letter, Texas Thaw 2024. And I decided to put a Texas shape on the top here. So I know you can't see that right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and letter all of these before I sketch out the letters on the other ones. So I decided to base my color scheme off of their poster for this year, which has a really cool kind of greenish teal color on it, and an orange and a white. It seems to have pretty good contrast. The only thing after that was to figure out what part was going to be what color. The teal color seemed to have good enough contrast up against that raw metal color that I went ahead and decided to use it for the biggest part. But then to kind of bump the contrast with it a little bit more by using the white as my outline on it. I was actually surprised at how good of contrast the orange had against the metal color, so I went ahead and used that both as the part where it says class, and then also, because I knew it'd stand out good on the black, went ahead and used it on the base part for the year. And since Texas Thaw is what this is for and represents, being the most important in my mind, it had to be the highest contrast. We put it in white on the black. And then like magic, it's ready to get some pinstriping. Alright, so I mentioned that these here are race trophies for this show, for Texas Thaw. These back here for the car show part of it. It's one of the coolest things about this show is it has nostalgia drag races going on at the show. That leads to one of the other things I'm really excited about this show, and that is that I have a new print out. Started this print actually end of last year. Really excited about this one. Wanted to get it done for this show. I actually put up on my Facebook page a prompt asking people to show me their pre-war hot rods and stuff that they have, or make suggestions of really famous ones, and that's what this one represents. We've got a drag race going on dry lake bed. Some cool cars in it. Walk you through it just a little bit because it's cool. We got the car from Back to the Future. Biff's car, if you remember that. This is actually a local guy submitted his car for this, which was cool. I had a guy up in the Northeast that submitted a car that he sees where he's at, and whenever I went through and started doing the research and all on it, it's just so super cool. Actually built early 50s, custom. And there's pictures of it out at Dry Lakes Beds racing and stuff. We've got land speed cars that were made by like Packard. All sorts of neat stuff in here. So I'm going to have this at the show for people, along with all my other prints and stuff, to buy. It's really cool to kind of debut something at a show. But if you guys want to get one of those, you can go to my website, jackflemingartistry.com. There's shirts, there's other prints and stuff. When you get back to painting these, and first step's going to be to draw everything off on the other trophies so that we can letter those. So just like the race trophies, went through with my 3-part cleaning process on all of these, and then spent the time drawing out the letters and stuff for every one of these so that I could go ahead and get to paint. And you know, it turned out to be one of those days where I had quite a few people actually come up to the shop and sort of interrupted the workflow, but at the same time, every one of them that came through and saw the trophies I was working on, it started a conversation with them. They wanted to know more about the show that they were for, talked about how cool it was. It just kind of testifies, I guess, of how awesome homemade trophies are for shows. Everybody gets excited about them, so it's kind of cool to get to be a part of that. When the guys from Texas Thaw brought these in to me, there was a couple of them that they had already kind of started doing some lettering stuff on, and they weren't really pleased with it and asked me if I could cover those things up. They'd been done with Sharpie, so kind of my solution on this one here was to kind of give it that sort of tattoo flair with the ribbon over it, with the script on it and all, and really kind of pleased with how that one turned out. Played around with some blending on it, some outlining on it. Probably put way more time into it than what it's really worth to somebody, but man, I think that's probably what's going to make it cool. Somebody's really going to enjoy this, as well as the other trophies. This is just a small example of me getting a little too carried away on most of these. And that's how it went with trophy after trophy until I got to a point to where they were all lettered and ready for some pinstriping. That kind of final touch that really makes them look, I don't know, how do you want to describe it? I guess just sort of super cool and totally finished looking. Alright, so for the pinstriping on this, I broke out my King 13 size 000 brush and some one-shot paint and went ahead and got to town on it here. This is probably a really good opportunity to remind y'all to go check out the Pinstripers podcast. That's hosted by Freddie Viet and myself, and we interview well-known pinstripers. People who have been in the business for a long time is probably who we interview the most, catching their stories, trying to catch the history of the craft through, you know, their background on it, through their histories and sometimes unique and funny stories and stuff that they have. And y'all already go check that out. It's on most, not all, but most of the podcast platforms out there. Episodes usually last about an hour, and you get to hear from some heroes in the industry. It's pretty cool. If you can't find it on your favorite platform for listening to podcasts, you can find it at pinstriperspodcast.buzzsprout.com. So after a couple of days of lettering and striping trophies, I packed them all up and we headed to the show. Set up our booth there with all the merchandise and stuff that we normally have. Pinstriped a couple of cars while I was at the show. It's kind of small on the car show side of the show, but the exciting part of it is the racing, and I had to show you guys a little bit of that footage. It's a seriously small percentage of car shows that I know of that have drag racing at the shows. But here's the final footage of the finished trophies. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making these. I don't know that I really explained too much in this, more of kind of a show and tell of what happened. Let me know if you like this kind of format for the video, and let me know if you have any ideas for other things I should make videos of or changes I should make to this one. If you like what you saw in this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit subscribe or click on one of the 2 videos that comes up here. And as always, have a good day. Bye.